how can we be more explicit with dress code too? Because someone might see backyard wedding or home wedding and just assume they can show up more casually. And if it's not a casual wedding, or maybe it is, but how can we best put on there? Do you just say outdoor cocktail or come in your
So that's a
like?
this is something I talk about with almost every single client, regardless of where their wedding is. And if the instructions are not black tie, black tie optional, or formal, your guests don't know what it means. And they will Google it. What did you just say? Summer
Like
casual
yeah, like summer casual or something like that. But that
right.
could mean just like an
It could
old
mean
navy slip dress that looks
yes,
like you just wear it
right.
on the boardwalk wherever.
Yeah. And and if that is the dress code you want, that is totally fine.
Yeah,
But your
that's
guests
great.
do not know what summer casual means. And if you don't explicitly tell them, they will call you or email you or text you and ask you. And then you're fielding all those calls. So I really recommend, if it's not super clear, to be very explicit. And whether that's a summery maxi dress, khakis and a blazer, but really, if you just really want to be so clear, just make a design board and put it on your website and show them literal examples of
Yeah,
humans
are you
wearing.
for this? 'Cause I'm getting mixed reviews from professionals. Some people love it and recommend it, and some people are just like, "Oh my God, really? This is what we're doing?"
I am not necessarily saying that there should be a color dress code, or like, I think you spoke to somebody who had like the exact linen suit that all the men were supposed
Yeah, I
to
told the story
buy.
about the yeah.
And
That's a little extra.
that's banana pants to me. But if you want a dress code, again, that is not black tie optional, formal. Those are literally the only three that everyone can tell you exactly what it means, and we will all agree on it. So if you want to use some other wording, summer cocktail, summer casual, beach, whatever, people don't know what that means. So you have to explain it to them. And if the words that you use to explain it is still not breaking through, is still getting you questions about what that dress code means, then you need to do more. You need to do a visual representation. Do I think every wedding needs to have a design board? I do not. But if you are trying to communicate, we will be outside in the sun for a ceremony. You will be walking a quarter of a mile up a hill to get to my ceremony location. The sun will go down and it will then be 70, 68 degrees. You're going to want a jean jacket or a pashmina. People just want the information. That's just what they want. They want to be told. Most people, many people want to be told what to do. They want to look like they fit in. They want to look like they are in the right place and that they are not underdressed or overdressed for your event.
And you can give more details on your wedding website, but how often do you think people truly do look at the wedding website?
Yeah, I'd love to have data on that. That would be fun. You
Do
know
you
what?
know? I haven't heard anything.
Can the Knot do a report on how often, and can I get like a visitors, a clicks, a time per page? Can I get that from the Knot and from Zola, please? I would really, really like that. If here's what I would say. If you put it out there, you've done your job. If you've put that information, if you've made it available to them, you've done your job. And you cannot, as I say all the time, these people are adults. And at a certain point, we have held their hand and led the horse to water as best we can.
But you can't make them drink it.
So can I give you a little story about dress code for a wedding?
Please, because I love the dress code conversation.
I just sort of alluded to it, but we had a wedding where the walk from the valet and bus drop off to the ceremony was literally a quarter mile up a hill. And we told them on multiple pages on the website, this was the most detailed wedding website I'd ever done. And we told them on multiple locations, we do not recommend heels. But we knew that some people were either not going to read it or not going to care. So when they got out of their car or they got off the bus, we collected their gift, because you want to collect gifts right away. You want to get stuff out of their hands before you put stuff into their hands. So we collected their gifts. We had a water and lemonade station. We had the sunscreen and the bug spray set up for them to do right there. We gave out parasols to people who wanted the parasols. But my favorite part of this kind of guest hospitality station was the shoe valet. Women who had worn inappropriate shoes for the walk. I'm not saying an inappropriate shoe in general, but an inappropriate shoe for the walk. We had rescue flats, which is one of my favorite things. Look, I'm not the dollar Old Navy flip-flops are fine. Everyone loves them and they do their job. The rescue flat is just a little bit more elevated and it looks a little bit nicer in the photos later in the night when you get those dancing photos. So women dropped off their, and the rescue flats come with a bag to put your heels in.
Oh,
So they
that's so
put their
nice.
heels in they put their heels in the bag. They put them in the valet. They took the rescue flats. They walked up the hill. Now, before anyone gets angry, we also had wagons and golf carts if people did not want to walk. We did not force them to walk the quarter mile up the hill.
Sorry,
So,
Grandpa, get up there.
exactly. Exactly. This was, and we did have grandparents at that wedding. We were lucky enough. So yeah, so, and then we moved the valet to the dinner tent. We moved the whole setup to the dinner tent. So after they'd walked up the hill, sat at the ceremony, walked back down the hill, mixed and mingled at cocktail hour, then if they wanted, when they enter the reception tent, which had flooring, they could put their fancy shoes back on and put them and wear them for the rest of the night. And people lost their minds over this. They just thought it was the greatest thing. So big fan of the shoe valet.